Hello, class 9. The chapter 14, that is Industrial Revolution and Capitalism and Socialism. I already finished part 1 of this chapter, that is the first round. And now, today, in my opinion, in this chapter, I must mention few words regarding the welfare state. Okay, nowadays in modern era, the conception of welfare state is very important, and then few question answer today, and then we will finish this chapter. Now, ideal of a welfare state. Since 1980s, there had been a change in development strategy throughout the world. Most of the nations privatized, most of the nations privatized many companies, industries, and services that were owned and controlled by the state. With a collapse of communism in Russia now and in Eastern Europe, Poland, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and other countries, we know that the conception of communism came into decline. The popularity of communism, we had to face a decline of the popularity of communism. There did not seem much future for basic socialist goal, state ownership of the means of production and of distribution and exchange. Now, there did not seem much future for basic socialist goal, state ownership of the means of production and the distribution and exchange. Even China has given up the orthodox socialist path. In fact, the orthodox socialist path had come to a decline. In fact, we would endorse a humanized capitalist system. Throughout the world, the capitalist system we observe a humanized capitalist system. What is this? The state should take responsibility for the security and welfare of those who could not stand on their own feet. Gradually, Britain, Canada, Australia, Sweden, Denmark, and other European states had become truly welfare states. Now, gradually, in this world, Britain, Canada, countries like Britain, Canada, Australia, Sweden, Denmark, and other European states had become truly welfare states. In all these countries, citizens received state assistance during sickness. In all these countries, sickness, I received the assistantship and state assistance during sickness, unemployment, and old age. Various social security measures have been taken in India also, such as the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, the National Food Security Act, and the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Many other in our state, West Bengal also, many schemes have taken by the state government for the benefit of the people. Now, what is meant by industrial revolution? That is the concept of the welfare state. India is one of the best examples of the welfare state. Now, what is meant by industrial revolution? Now, my first question is, what is meant by industrial revolution? This is, my students, this is a very important question. What is meant by industrial revolution? Now, you have to write the French Revolution and Industrial Revolution were the most powerful movements affecting all the various classes and indeed everybody. Okay. Now, again I am repeating these lines, these sentences. The French Revolution and Industrial Revolution were the two most powerful movements affecting all the various classes and indeed everybody. The word revolution means sudden and quite swift. The word revolution means sudden and quite, Quit, quite swift. The Industrial Revolution ushered in the machine age or the mechanical age. The Industrial Revolution began in England close to 1750 AD. In less than 100 years, it resulted in revolutionary changes in all walks of life. The advantages of machine-made production were many. We know that the advantages of machine-made productions were many because within a very short time the advantages of machine made productions were many. Goods within a very short time, goods could be produced in immensely large quantities. As a result, many goods or services which earlier were within the reach of a few people could now be enjoyed by millions of people. Now, but the new system of industrial revolution gave the rise of the factory system that eventually gave rise a new class in the society, that is the capitalist class. As a result of the capitalism, we witnessed the socialist class in the society. Now, this is the first question: what is industrial revolution? Now, my students, the next question is mention according to the syllabus what is industrial revolution, then a difference in between a comparative study between capitalism and socialism. Now, any two differences between capitalism and socialism. Now, all of you look at the book, any two differences. Page number in my book B144, Comparative Study of Socialism and Capitalism. Here in the book, 1, 2, 3, 4 points are given. You may write any 2 points, but let me explain the 4 points again, okay? Now, that is private ownership versus state ownership. The first and the most important distinction between capitalism and socialism is that the means of production in a capitalist economy remain in the private hands. That is, the control of production remain in the private hands. In the capitalist economy, it is individualistic. It is in the hands of the private individuals. Now, the capitalist or the industrialist, by the word private hands, we mean the capitalist or the industrialist, that is the owner of the industry. Naturally, the wealthy class who have enormous money to own the industry. Now, the socialist thinkers hold that the material resources of the country, that is land, coal, iron, railways, road transport and banks, etc., should be nationalized. The socialist thinkers always think that they have the idea that the material resources of the country, land, coal, iron, railways, road transport and banks, should be nationalized. That is, must be brought under state control. Now, number 2 point. This is number 1 point. That is, in private economy, the ownership remains in the hand of the private individuals. That is the either industrialist or that is not either, meaning same, industrialist or capitalist class. And in the socialist thinkers think that the material resources of the country, land, coal, iron, railways, road transport and banks, etc., should be nationalized, that is brought under state control. Number 2. market economy versus planned economy. The spirit of capitalism is market economy. The main spirit of capitalism is market economy. The economic life is organized according to the forces of demand and supply. The economic life must be organized according to the forces of demand and supply. The capitalists produced even those goods which are of no utility for the society. That is the spirit. The main idea of capitalism is market economy. The economic life is guided according to the forces of demand and supply. The capitalist, the economic life is organized according to the theory of demand and supply. The capitalists produce even those products which are of no utility for the society. It leads to the huge wastage for the society of valuable resources of the society. Means here it leads to the huge wastage of the valuable resources. The socialist, on the other hand, place too much emphasis on a planned economy. The socialist, on the other hand, gave too much emphasis on the planned economy. Number 3, profit maximization versus social cohesion. That is, profit maximization is the main motive for an industrialist. In a capitalist society, the industrialist class, to them, the main idea, the main motto is profit maximization, to get to earn much and much more profit. Under a socialist economy, even such things shall be produced for the benefit of the poor and the needy. Now, the socialist economy always think of the poor and the needy people, but the capitalist economy always think for the wealthy people. They don't bother for the benefit of the poor people. The state, through fair price, in a socialist economy, the state through fair price shops sells goods even at a loss. In a socialist economy, the state, through the fair price shops, sells goods even at a loss, at a price which is less than it costs to produce some of the goods. Even in a socialist economy, the states, through the fair price shops, sell some goods at a price which are much cheaper than its production price. Okay, my students, is it clear to you? This is number 3 point, profit maximization versus social cohesion. Now, number 4 point, welfare activities versus no safety net. Now, in a circus, a safety net is there for those performers who sometimes make a mistake. Now, in a circus, we always observe, we always enjoy a safety net for the safety of the people who are showing us the circus. Now, that saves the lives of the people who are showing us circus, or give us the enjoyment. In society, the welfare activity helps us if we get into a difficult situation. Now, in the society, there are various welfare activities which save us in the time of any difficult situation. Under a pure capitalist system, there is no provision for the welfare of such persons as cannot stand on their own feet. the unemployed, the poor, and the disabled. A socialist state, on the other hand, makes effective provision for public assistance in all such cases. That is, in a capitalist system, there is no such measure for the welfare of the people. But in a socialist state, always the main motto is to take care for the welfare of the common people. These are the 4 points regarding the comparative study of the socialist and the capitalist economy. Okay, my students. Now, ideal of a welfare state. Now, the last question is, mention any 2 ideals of a welfare state. Welfare state means a state where the state always look after the common people. That is for the welfare of the needy and the common people who are in need, and the promotion and the progress for the people at large. Now, since 1980s, there had been a change in development strategy throughout the world. Since 1980s, there is a strategy throughout the world regarding what? Regarding the development of the society. Now, most of the nation privatize many companies. Most of the nation, there is a tendency of privatizing many companies, industries, and services that were owned and controlled by the state. Privatization of the companies. With the collapse of communism in Russia, Poland, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and other countries, there, and the communism, the decline of communism and socialism, state ownership of the means of production and sorry and of distribution and exchange. Even China has given up. Sorry, excuse me. Even China has given up the orthodox socialist path. In fact, we would endorse a humanized capitalist system. The state should take responsibility for the security and welfare of those who could not stand on their own feet. That is, state has taken all the responsibility of looking at the welfare of the people who are unable to take responsibility of their own. Throughout the world, there is a tendency of the states to look after the citizen during the sickness, the unemployment, and of old age. Various social security measures have been taken in India also. Various social measures, security measures, such as the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, the National Food Security Act, and the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana Act. And recently in our state, West Bengal, various projects have been taken by our Chief Minister for the welfare of the, for example, that Shastro Shati scheme, for the health benefit of the, to get the benefit of the free treatment for the citizens of our country, especially the people of West Bengal. Various other measures. These are the examples of the welfare state. India is an example of the welfare state. Now, my students, this is the end of this chapter. Okay, see you in my next class. Okay, thank you very much. proceed according to what I taught in the class. Okay, thank you very much.